Aha. I got a transition in that time. I reduced the volume. So, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Town Hall number 15, another one in the making. Thanks everyone for joining in. My name is Don. We have Karam, Shubhendu, Atlas Dragon, and Rumor joining in today. It's gonna be a good one. We're gonna be talking about a bunch of fun things, a bunch of important things for the network. As always, this call is being recorded. It will be out in the next 24 hours, but knowing the gusto of our team, it'll probably be out in the next 10 minutes. So keep your eyes out for that in case you miss it. We'll also send an email with kind of an overview of what went down today. So a couple of things we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking a little bit about onboarding, which has been really, really important and stuff that we've been talking about for a while. We're going to be going over a couple of vault details and timelines. So exciting call. This call is around an hour. If you guys have questions in the duration of this call, there is a chat. You can look at the top right of your screen. There's a little bubble that pops up. You can open that, type in your questions. We will get to your questions at the end of the call. We'll try to keep it to an hour. In case we're not able to answer everyone's questions, don't worry. You can always ask your questions in the general chat or in any one of the channels on Discord, and we're more than happy to answer your questions. Before we get into it, Karam and Shubs, how's it going? How are you feeling about today's town hall?
Don, quick question. Hey everyone, are we talking about the sexes today or not? I'm not sure. What's the
No.
plan? Oh,
So
okay. Okay, my bad. Sorry. Okay, sorry.
Really? We're doing this once every time.
we we got we got to
You should
trickle
have
that
told me,
alpha. We
man.
got to spread it out over time as we get there.
You should have told me beforehand. No, like, don't keep me involved these days, you
Man,
two, man.
you
I tell
stopped my
you.
heart for half a second there. I was like,
I,
no.
I just saw Karam go.
Keep me in the loop, man, yeah, for this. Anyways, hey everyone, morning, good evening. How's it going? Excited for today's town hall. I think Karam has some exciting announcements to share with you. And since I don't know what are those, I'll be the quieter one on the call. Just hang around and probably jump in whenever needed. But yeah, Karam, take it over. I guess I should stay quiet.
No, no. Hey everyone, super excited. Also, wow, Town Hall 15. Not bad. I'm glad we're doing this on a more regular basis. Really excited on the road to TGE, doing everything and all announcements one step at a time, so the process and everything is clear. Really excited about the key things that we're going to be talking about today, which is onboarding and vault overview and timelines. Yeah, excited to kick off. Good to be here. Let's do this. I'm glad we're on the road. Come
All
on.
right. Excited, happy to get into it. We have 50 people joined in. I still can't get over it, just like Karam said, we're Town Hall 15, getting more regular at this. But yes, let's jump straight into it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is onboarding. So I know we've been talking about onboarding for quite a while. Many of you know what onboarding is. So basically, onboarding is the process of, when you do your KYC, you get to choose the location for your hotspot and basically get everything up and running on the network. So far, you guys have been purchasing your hotspots, and this is the next step in that process. So news on onboarding. We are planning to open up onboarding ahead of TGE, and we are targeting for the month of August. So we're hoping that in August we can start onboarding. Now, why are we doing this ahead of TGE? This will help keep processes smooth, especially at TGE. We want to make sure that the entire system is running well, that deployments and people onboarding and everything else that is happening around the time of TGE, nothing is impacted, and that everything is running well. Now, this process will also include location selection, but your NFTs will be minted after TGE. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. Uh, KYC. So part of the onboarding process is KYC. We are using SumSub as our partner for the KYC process. This will help us stay compliant with regulators across the board. For those of you who know us, you also know that we work across multiple sectors, and it's very important that we stay above board. We are extremely above board when it comes to being compliant. We like to be on the moon when it comes to being compliant. It helps us, especially as we're progressing forward, working across multiple industries. Important thing to keep in mind is that we won't be capturing this information. And I think even in the SumSub process, you can choose whether you want SumSub to store that information or not. Karam is going to talk more about this in a bit. Now, in terms of this process and what this will look like, and I'll hand this over to Karam right after this to talk a little bit more. But just to make sure that this process is smooth, even before we start the onboarding process, we're going to have an alpha testing phase for this entire process. Now, Rumor and team will be talking a little bit more about this on the Discord. It's going to be as simple as registering via a ticket. So just raise a ticket, say that you're interested in being an alpha tester. We're only looking at around, I would say, 20 testers is what we're looking at for the alpha test. You have to be a hotspot owner. That is very important. And keep in mind, this is an alpha test. So, it's on a test net. This won't be actual location selection. This will just be for the testing. Again, this is only for the alpha testing. And yes, more details will come out on this. Rumor will post an announcement on the Discord for you guys to raise a ticket and be a part of the alpha testing program. So yes, before I talk about this kickoff schedule, Karam and Shubs, do you want to talk a little bit about onboarding and why this is important?
Yeah, so there are two pieces to this. The first bit is KYC, which is, of course, we want to be as compliant as possible. Pretty much all stakeholders on the network go through a KYC process. So, for example, even the end customer, where the hotspot is installed, KYC is done for them. They have to submit their documents. And on the public Wi-Fi, for example, you have to enter phone number and OTP. So in the same manner, to ensure compliance, all hotspot owners have to go through a KYC process as well. So that's the reason that we're doing that. Onboarding hotspots before TGE is, of course, important because we want you to start getting rewards as when TGE happens, right? And rewards are only given out when the onboarding process is complete. So as Don mentioned, we'd like to kick off that process as early as possible because it ensures that there's not a mad rush at time of TGE, systems don't fail, things like that. And we have some cool things for you to do during that onboarding process as well. As Don mentioned, we've had a lot of requests from a lot of the power users, as it were, people who have bought a lot of hotspots that want to have multiple wallets and sort of be able to bifurcate their hotspots to different wallets. We'll have that really soon. Just wanted to give you a heads up. For the KYC and onboarding process, which I'll walk you through in a bit, you'll only be able to attach a single primary wallet to control the account. And after that, you'll be able to attach additional wallets and do further customization as well. So yeah, that's it for me. Shubes, anything you want to throw in there, or should we continue?
No, I think that's that. The whole idea is to have a smooth onboarding, and people should be able to mint their epoch rewards from the day zero, essentially, and that's possible when the hotspots are onboarded, NFTs have been added, and essentially that makes a smooth process. And of course, since it would be first come, first choose sort of a mechanism, people can on board and get their hands on while they're in the year one, it's all about UBI, universal income, but still that would impact the subsequent years of reward earnings as best performing locations as we move towards a performance-based reward structure. So onboarding your devices early will get you the best possible locations on the network to start with. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes. So, yes, like I said, we are starting this early. Now we'll be starting the alpha testing first. Rumor will put up an announcement along with this, kind of the minutes of the town hall, on how you can apply it to be an alpha tester and what that means. Now, again, this is before the actual onboarding starts. So we'll do alpha testing for, I would say, a week to 2 weeks, Karam, if I'm not wrong, right? And then we'll open up the onboarding process for the entire community. Now, the way we are looking at opening up the onboarding process for the entire community is in stages. So we're going to stagger it a little bit. Now, how that will work is the moment we open up onboarding, the first 8 hours and onwards will be open for season one. From hours 9 to 16 will be season two, and 17 to 24 hours after we open the onboarding will be for all other campaigns. Now we will announce the date for onboarding, public onboarding, very soon. That is once we have the alpha testing up and running. That'll also help us understand if there's anything we need to fix, anything we need to change. If everything goes smoothly, then we'll start onboarding after that. If there are changes, we'll make those changes and obviously start onboarding. Yes. So yeah, that's pretty much it for onboarding. A very, very important thing. Another important thing for onboarding early is we were going to have some early vault features that we're going to be talking about very, very soon. Um, I'm getting distracted by chat and trying to talk at the same time. but yes, there's going to be some fun features. We want to make sure that the vault is as interactive as possible and as meaningful to the community as possible. We're going to talk a little bit about that now. But again, to readdress, we will start alpha testing first, and then we will open up onboarding to the community after that. All right, talking about the vault and overview and timelines. As many of you know, we are, launching our vault with Bonk.live. This is a very exciting time. We talked about this in the last town hall. And like we said before, that every town hall, we're going to start bringing up a couple of points on our launch process, keep everyone in the loop as we go about it. So this is the next step in that process that we want to talk about. Now, the vault will be spot priced. Pricing details will be announced only 1 to 2 weeks before the launch of the vault, and the vault will be open anywhere between 48 to 72 hours. Now, again, these details, these exact details of what will be the price of the vault and the details of the vault will only be disclosed 1 to 2 weeks before the actual vault launch, and we'll also disclose things like the duration of the vault and stuff like that. So before we get into some of the mechanics, do you guys want to give us a little bit about, again, I know we talked about this last week. Why is this so important, especially with what's been happening with, Bonk launch pads over the last couple of weeks and month? Why is this so exciting for us?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of reasons why a vault is so first off, from the bigger picture, we're going to be launching on sexes and dexes. And so therefore, on the dex side, one of the activities that we're doing is making sure that we have a vault. The reason that we have a vault is it helps improve initial liquidity at the time of the token launch, really. And it's a great way for a lot of people to participate in the best way possible. We're ultra excited, and we had this conviction damn near, I think, a year ago, because it took that long to get through the partnership and paperwork and everything. Just to be clear, our belief and partnership with Bonk is long term. I think it stems from September last year or something like that. This isn't some opportunistic thing where we saw the Bonk pad doing well and we were like, yeah, we should get on board with that. We've got great faith in our team. They're amazing. And you can see how this is going to pay off. One of the great things is we're building some cool things that should get us exposure to all of the traders on Bonk.fund and really get the hardcore degens and meme coin holders and everyone else on board. So the vault is important for these two reasons. One is it helps bring that initial liquidity. The second is it helps bring a much bigger trading audience that's interested in participating in the whole process. For simplicity's sake, now there were a bunch of options and ways you could do vaults that are trade-offs for many of them, right? You can do DLMMs and other options. What we realized is from a simplicity and broadest base of sort of participation, an easiest way to explain and get people involved things is to have a spot price based vault. As it says on the slide, the vault will be open roughly 48 to 72 hours before the TGE. So from the moment the vault closes, the TGE will be immediately shortly after, like maybe in a day or two, that sort of thing. We will clarify those exact timelines as we get closer. So yeah, really excited about the vault. We're gonna have a ton of things and activities and marketing around that over the next couple of weeks. But yeah, that's all I got for the vault. Shoots.
No, that's, I think we can continue. Nothing to add.
Nice. So now for some exciting mechanics that we're including into the vault, we are introducing what we call Genesis liquidity. Now, what this basically means, and this is something that we're very, very excited about to give back to the community, is we're going to give hotspot owners the option to sell a percentage of the rewards per hotspot directly to the vault. Now, what this basically means is you can choose a portion of your Genesis rewards and you can sell them back to the vault, even before the TGE. This is super exciting, and we think that this is a great initiative for the community. Now, we would love to hear your feedback and your thoughts behind this process. We'll be getting into more details of this process over the coming weeks, but we wanted to make sure that we kind of talk to the community about this before we actually launch this. Now, during the onboarding process that will be opened up very soon, you'll have the option to opt into this, right? So you don't get to decide what your percentage of Genesis rewards are during onboarding at the moment. You're just opting into the process. You're just letting us know, hey, yes, this is something I'm interested in. And then at launch, a couple of days before launch, you will have the option to decide what is the percentage of your rewards that you want to allocate to the vault. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate this, and this is very important. You have to be onboarded. Your hotspots have to be onboarded in order to participate in this program, in the Genesis liquidity program. Right, so like I said, a portion will be reserved for hotspot owners. If this portion is oversubscribed, participants will receive their USDC pro rata. And like I said, during onboarding, that's when we'll be capturing interest. So this has been a very exciting mechanic that we've been building for the community. And yes, so before we talk a bit more about this, Karam and Shubs, talk to us. What are the ideas behind this? Why are we so excited about this program for the community?
I think this is pretty unique, thing that the team has come up with, and very exciting to, try this thing out where we could create liquidity for, early backer while we have taken our own time to, come to our TGE timelines. This program, if it works out the way we are envisioning it, I think will create industry first sort of experience, at least in the deepened community, that how early backers are getting rewarded in the most unique and impactful manner. Uh, if this program works out as we are envisioning, the whole philosophy is, the early backers, the Genesis reward holders, should take the rewards first in the queue when it comes to launching a vault. The whole program is designed around the idea of, while there has to be a certain float that has to be created into the market when it comes to the trading side. So why not, instead of building the treasury just for the foundation or team selling their tokens, or doing some of those other stunts, can the real people who have put their real dollar into the project, can they get the first share of those rewards? That is the basic thought, that the team started working on this idea, and I think it is coming out very beautifully. And if it scales in the right direction, a lot of projects I see would like to offer something like this, and that would be something very interesting for the ecosystem overall. So very excited about this. I would, if I can call it, a novel idea around Genesis liquidity. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super excited for this as well. And I think now and as we walk you through more stuff, I think you'll understand why we're having an alpha testing process. Because with these new ideas, we'd also like to get feedback. But like Shub's mentioned, this is appealing to us, and we think for the community it should be interesting as well. It's worth thinking about whether you and hey, want to be clear that this is optional. Not everyone has to do this. If you want to participate in the vault, great. If you don't, equally good as well. Part of the reason to have this mechanic is to understand how everybody thinks about the token as we lead up to the TGE. Right, this is you just registering your interest for it once you onboard your hotspots, and it's a process that we'll walk you through in a bit. The broad, just for super clarity to make sure that we're all on the same page, because on the chat I'm seeing some talk of helping create liquidity and that sort of thing. This is slightly, it is creating liquidity, but not participating in a liquidity pool. What it is you can take a percentage of your Genesis tokens and put those into the vault. And the people that participate on the vault, for example, the people that come from Bonk.fun or other places, they will put in USDC into the vault in return for your Genesis tokens, DBD tokens when trading starts. Now, there are other restrictions and things along with that, subtleties that we can get to later. But as Shub's mentioned, the reasoning behind this is we are definitely doing a vault to build liquidity. We believe that the project and the foundation and the revenues in a good enough place where we don't necessarily have to fund that entire vault to begin with. So we would like to offer deepen and hardware owners and the whole industry a nice way to give returns as soon as possible. Taking in mind, one of the questions I think that will definitely come up is how does this affect dumping? We've been incredibly disciplined with how we've given out tokens. So even if everybody, for their own reasons, if they choose to participate in this Genesis liquidity, it is not going to impact the supply of things that much. You will see this come out as we continue talking about it.
And
Yeah,
just
Shub,
to
stop
add to
me if
that,
I'm talking too much about
yeah,
too
no,
many
no, no,
things.
no. Just want to add, only hotspot owners can participate in this program. So if there are any Galaxy holders, campaign holders, those token holders are not eligible to participate. Only hotspot owners who have completed their KYC and onboarding process, those folks would be eligible to put in their token if they choose to participate. Second point, this is absolutely optional. As Karam mentioned, the idea is we want to offer a early, platform for people to liquidate if they have been looking to, rather than people going and dumping and probably, selling it open market. This mechanism would give us a controlled environment where we will get a pre-hand understanding of how much of liquidity has to be provisioned. This will ensure that we could, in a systematic manner, honor those people's requests who would want to get some liquidity out early in the program, and absolutely optional. So those are the things. We will run the details as we go through the today's town hall, and yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
I think one of the things we should also do over the next week or so is gather everyone's opinions on both sides. Should you participate or should you not participate, and do a
So
little debate later on.
those opinions in that debate is going to happen regardless. We don't have to encourage that.
Fair
we
enough.
have a
We
we have
understand.
a
Oh, yeah, sorry. No, I wanted to add, we also understand that a missing piece of information here is what is the price of the vault? Yeah, we'll announce that when it's the appropriate time coming up. We wanted to float this idea to begin with because we think it's a good one. And of course, we're looking for feedback. The benefits are obviously day zero payback, reduces your benefit to you is also it actually reduces your Genesis unlock time as well, reduces dump of the token, and you get bonuses like being able to pick the because you're doing your KYC and your onboarding, you're also going to get the option to choose the best performing hotspots and that sort of thing. So yeah, really excited about this and look forward to a quick walkthrough of how bits and pieces of that work in a little bit as well.
Yeah. So just like Karam said, in terms of details for pricing, like I said earlier, that will only come out about a week to 2 weeks before the actual Vault launch. So at that time, you'll be able to decide, okay, how many of your Genesis tokens do you want to, what percentage of your Genesis tokens do you want to put into the vault. Now, again, as we're going through this process and over the coming weeks, there will be more information. We will be showing more about this process and letting you guys know more about it as well. Like Karam said, make sure you get into the chat, especially on our TGE channel, which I know many of you are already, scratching away at your keyboards to start asking your questions. So make sure to ask your questions. Give us your ideas, your thoughts. How do you feel about this process? And we definitely want to participate in that conversation as well. Uh, Yes, so just a recap and overview of what this process looks like over the next coming days. Onboarding will open. The date is to be announced, so that is post the alpha testing. Onboarding will open. You guys can finish your onboarding process per the schedule that we put out. There will be a dedicated microsite for this. Karam is going to talk a little bit more about this later. You will go through that process and then you will just say yes or no if you'd like to participate in the Genesis liquidity program. Vault details will be announced 1 to 2 weeks before the vault opening, and that's when you will lock in your Genesis liquidity. You'll decide how much, what the percentage that you want to apply for is. When the vault opens, it'll be open for 48 to 72 hours. That's when Genesis rewards will also end. And then shortly after that, exchanges will open, mainnet rewards will start, and Genesis rewards will start unlocking. So yes, this will give you kind of an overarching idea of the process that we're looking at for these things that we just talked about. So it's a super exciting time. We really do believe that Genesis liquidity is a great way to give back to the community. It fits into making sure that early participants eat first, right? Miners eat first. We want to make sure that guys who have been with us for the longest are getting the best out of this as well. Now, coming soon and things to look forward to over the coming weeks and months, and things to keep in mind. Over the coming weeks, we will be talking more about vault details, about different participation mechanics in the vault. There's a whole lot of stuff that we're super excited about that we want to share with you. And over the next couple of town halls, we'll be getting more in detail with this. Staking details, we'll talk about that more closer to the launch as well. So look at that, I would say 2 to 3 weeks before the actual launch. And sex details as well. What are the sexes that we'll be launching on? I know a lot of people have been having these questions. What are the exchanges that we'll be tying up with? We're only going to be announcing those details about 5 to 10 days before the actual launch. But yes, that's where we are at right now. Anything that I'm missing from you guys? Is there anything else that you would like to talk about, Shubs and Karam, about this before we get into the demo of the onboarding process?
I am excited about talking about the staking program that we are designing, sort of designed now. So, yeah, looking forward to that town hall for sure.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a fun town hall. Awesome.
Oh, I'm good.
So
Oh.
cool. So then I'm going to hand it over to Karam. Karam would like to walk you guys through what the onboarding process looks like for now. So we have some screenshots of what the process looks like. Again, after this call, when Rumor puts up the minutes of the session, he will also have a detailed out process of how you can be an alpha tester and what that means. We'll also have like a private chat on Discord for alpha testers to talk about the process, so on and so forth. So I'm going to hand it over to Karam and let's get into the onboarding walkthrough. And just let me know when you want me to get to the next stage.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay, so I'm going to say, next slide, please. All
Yes.
right. Okay, so there are sort of three fundamental steps to the process. The first is completing your KYC. The second is selecting your LCO and location. The third is then paying your onboarding fees. And sorry, the fourth is choosing whether you're participating or at least showing your interest in the Genesis world. So let's kick things off. As we mentioned earlier, we're using SumSub, a third-party service, to handle KYC. We don't store any of this data. The process is 3 steps, and it's really straightforward, very smooth, and very nice. So the first thing that you would do is log into the onboarding dashboard, the URL of which we'll provide a little later. you'll be presented by a screen that walks you through the process entirely run by SumSub. Basically, there are 3 steps. You're verifying your email, you're providing an identity document of some sort, and you're performing a liveness check. And we're going to give you a quick preview of what that looks like. So next slide, please. Right. So email verification, super straightforward. You punch in your email address, it's going to send you an OTP. You paste that OTP, and ta-da, your email is verified. The second one, as you can see in the center screenshot over there, and you'll be able to do this either on your phone or your laptop, by the way. Either one is good. Depending on your choice of country, you will be presented with options of different types of documents that you can provide. So, for example, in India, the options were passport, PAN card, Aadhaar card, driver's license. And so for this example screenshot, I've chosen driver's license. So here it requires me to upload the front side picture and backside picture of driver's license and submit that. The last step in the process is a liveness check, where it's a live camera that's pointed at you, and you sort of just got to do a 360-degree rotation of your head to make sure that it's you and not a photo. And that concludes your KYC verification. So next slide, please. Yay! So major step 1 done. Now, the thing to note is we go through the KYC process optimistically. And if for any reason on the back end, a document wasn't examined correctly or something like that, you may receive an email that says, hey, you've got to go through the KYC process again. So you would have onboarded your hotspots, chosen your locations, gone through everything. But until you complete your KYC process, you wouldn't be able to log into the Explorer at the time of TGE, collect rewards, and all the other things that you'll need to be able to do. 99% should go through fine, but just a heads up that some people may have to redo it. I know there was a question in the chat about, hey, what if I'm an LLC and not an individual? Shubs will tell you what the next steps for that could be. And that's another one of the reasons why we're going through this alpha testing process of this onboarding system, because our goal is to find all of these edge cases, and we don't discover them at the last minute before TGE and have some people stuck and things like that. Okay, so step 2 in the process. Now that you've completed your KYC, you can onboard your hotspot. That also is 3 simple steps. You choose how many hotspots you want to onboard, because one of the requests we've gotten from a lot of the community is, hey, I only want to onboard a couple of the hotspots that I bought because I'm going to get those tokens and then use those tokens to pay the onboarding fees for the remainder. And that's perfectly fair. We value your support. Of course, we want to do the most helpful thing that we can. So you can, if you bought 10 hotspots and you only want to onboard 2 of them, by all means, go with that. Just know that you're only going to be able to participate with those Genesis tokens worth of, those Genesis tokens worth thereof or into the vault, and you'll only get rewards for those. So 3 steps: select how many hotspots, select the LCO, choose the locations you want, and pay the onboarding fee if required. I'll walk through that in detail, and yeah, we can do that on the next slide, please. Okay, so as part of the alpha process, and I walked Shubs through this afternoon, and he pointed out there could be a great deal of improvement on the UI to make this more friendly. So we're definitely going to improve this, but this screenshot should give you the gist anyway. So let's assume that you're like one of the many hotspot owners in the Dabba family where you've participated across multiple seasons, right? So in this example, we've got somebody that's bought 4 hotspots in season 1, 3 hotspots as part of the Bonk campaign, and 1 hotspot in season 2. Now, because we ran different campaigns at different times and at different price points, for most of the campaigns in season 1, your onboarding fees were included in the purchase price. So now that you're onboarding your hotspots, you do not have to pay any onboarding fees for those hotspots. They're covered, they're grandfathered in. For only season 2 hotspots, if you paid $199 or whatever discount you may have gotten or that sort of thing, you'll have to pay the $100 onboarding fee. So if you bought, say, 10 hotspots in season 2, you could only onboard 2 of them at this point, as we mentioned earlier. So in this particular example, all hotspots that were bought as part of season 1 and are grandfathered in, all of them will be onboarded by default. Those are not partial selections. Only season 2, where you have to pay an onboarding fee, you can choose only a certain number of them. So you choose how many hotspots you want to onboard, and on to the next step. This screen allows you to choose which local cable operator you want to assign your hotspot to, and you can even dive deep into which specific hotspot you want to select. This is because we've gotten a lot of feedback from a lot of people that want to be able to get in early and choose the locations with the highest amount of data consumption. Because remember that in our tokenomics, 90% of the hotspots emitted on an epochal basis are given out as UBI, and 10% are given out on a performance basis, and we're going to tweak that over time. So you, as a hotspot owner, although all hotspots perform really well, of course you want to get any edge that you can, and this allows you to select the hotspots that consume the most amount of data. And helpfully in this interface, we pre-select the top performing hotspots for you already, so we save you the time from hunting that down. You can obviously change those options if you like. Shubes pointed out specifically that this is a very confusing interface, and this area we're going to clean up the most. So alpha testers, please sign up and help us in giving us feedback of how we can make this stuff more friendly. But basically, you're 3/4 of the way through the process. You've chosen how many hotspots you want to onboard, you've chosen your local cable operator, and you've chosen your locations. Now you can continue. Next slide. Okay, so for the hotspots that you have to pay the onboarding fee, you now proceed to the payment for that. You have, as always, 2 options that we've always offered. You can pay via card on Stripe, or you can pay via crypto on using Helio. Once you do that, that completes KYC and your onboarding. It's really just a 2-step process. And yeah, that's really that. Now, once you've done this, we get to the fun bit, which is on the next slide. Yay, so once, sorry, next slide, Don, I think we missed one.
Okay, let me just check.
We missed the most fun slide in the thing, which is where you get to participate in the Genesis swap. Do you want me to share my screen? Oh, wait, hang on. Here we go. Okay. Do you want me to share my screen and do this? I can pull
Yes,
it out.
because I don't have the screenshot.
That is hilarious. And of course, admin permission at this moment doesn't allow me to share my screen. So hang on a sec. I'm just gonna send the screenshot to you on Slack, Don. Yeah, please add this in. Oh, sorry about that, folks. This was a little unexpected. As you can see, another reason we're shipping this out to alpha testers next week so we can have this process way smoother before most of you get it. Sent it to you on Slack, please check. Shubes, anything you want to add while Don pulls this up on Slack and shares the screen and all of that stuff?
Yes,
No, I agree with
100K.
I agree with Velvet Doctor. Yeah. I was typing to that only, not 100K. First of all, do you have 100K tokens, Don?
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to point out the team doesn't really have any tokens. Which you will see as we publish final token. Yeah. But I agree.
That is really, yeah.
Don, you owe Velvet Doctor at minimum 100K Genesis tokens now.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who's Don? Is that my real name?
Karam, do his KYC using some stuff first. Okay.
Yeah, we need KYC and team to go through Polygon. Like, yeah. Okay, there we go. Finally, the screen that actually matters to everyone in this call. All right. So once you finish your KYC and you've onboarded your hotspots, you're now presented with the interest form, which helps you let us know that you're interested in the idea of putting in a portion of your Genesis tokens into the vault. So just a quick overview, right? We're going to allocate a certain percentage of the vault for this Genesis liquidity sort of option. And let's say that everybody decides to do this for whatever reason. We're going to follow a sort of pro rata oversubscribed system. So that's why we're not telling you can put in this percentage or that sort of thing at the moment. We sort of need to gauge your level of interest at this stage to then sort of model out the final size of the vault, the tokenomics, things like that, and we can come back to you with further specifics. So this final screen at the end of your onboarding process shows you by each season how many Genesis rewards you've gotten and allows you to express your interest if you want to participate in this program. And yeah, that's a bit of the walkthrough. I think that's that, right, Tom? Yay!
Yay!
Now your onboarding journey is next. Please push on socials and everywhere else going miners eat on day 0. Deepen project delivers returns even before token launches. Because look, genuinely, part of the logic of this and the appeal of it is, of course, you want the community that helped you get to that stage and help everyone launch the thing gets a reward of having done all of that work, and it'll only lend positivity towards the launch of the token and things like that. So yeah, I think I'm done with my thing. Shubs, you want to say?
No, I think sums up everything. Portion of the vault would be sort of allocated for the miners who have onboarded their devices and completed the KYC. They will be able to put in their request to participate in the vault. It's 100% optional. The tokens would be coming from the Genesis reward pool that they are getting as part of the Genesis allocation. There would be, if I talk about a little bit on the unlock schedule, let's say your 50% of Genesis reward are eligible to be a part of this Genesis vault. The remainder of the 50% of your Genesis rewards would unlock every day on the same schedule of 100 tokens a day, or whichever unlock schedule is applicable for your purchase of the hotspot. So those details would
And that would
be
actually be faster. Your unlock schedule
faster.
would
Yeah,
automatically become shorter.
be fun. So to give you an example, just an example, season 2, somebody purchased on January of 30th is eligible to get 20,000 of Genesis tokens, Genesis points rather at this point. And let's say you choose to opt in for the liquidity program, and let's say it's a pro rata thing because it is oversubscribed. So 10,000 Genesis points are now eligible to be put into the vault. So your day 0 itself, your those 10,000 tokens would be unlocked, and you would be able to cash out in stables. And the remainder of the 10,000 will now unlock 100 per day in the next 100 days. So instead of getting those unlocked over 200 days, you're getting 50% Genesis reward back on day 0, and the total unlock schedule is now reduced from 200 days to 100 days. So those are the mechanics. Once we have the entire sort of participation clarity as we open up this program, we will be coming back to you with a detailed, structure, how much, what is the number, how it would look like, and all the final details.
Yes. So make sure to keep your eye out on details that we'll be announcing over the coming weeks. Like I said before, we have listed out this process, starting with alpha testing, leading to onboarding opening for everyone, following a staggered process. Again, we will make sure that all these details are made public and that you guys can see it and make sure you're in the loop. Following that, before the actual TGA launch, we will be publishing the vault details, and you'll be able to, participate in the actual Genesis liquidity program. So the onboarding process is going to be super exciting just to witness all of the changes and all of the bugs that everyone points out. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks. Looking forward to everyone joining in. Again, please keep in mind to participate in Genesis liquidity, you need to be a hotspot owner and you need to finish your onboarding. For the alpha testing, you also need to be a hotspot owner because you cannot test out onboarding unless you own a hotspot. So make sure you do that as well. Yes, so the next part, which we all love getting into, which is the Q&A section. So Rumor and Atlas, While we drone away, if you can just highlight the questions that we want to start asking over here. For everyone else, if you've been waiting on your questions, now's the time to start typing in your questions into chat, and we will answer those questions. Ooh, we have Velvet Doctor who would like to come up and speak. Are we taking stage requests? Come up,
Of course.
come on down. Hello, hello.
Hi guys, great,
How's it
great, nice
going?
Hello, how's it
things.
going?
Yeah, it's going good. How are you guys?
Alive.
Doing well, hard at
Yeah,
work, moving the train
yeah,
along.
I think things. It looks like things are going good. So I have a few questions basically. Um, okay, I'll ask one by one. Okay. The first thing, when you are doing this KYC, who is holding this information, and where will this be stored, and with whom this information will be shared? Will this be shared with all the government authorities or like with the Indian government? Like what is happening there? Yeah, that's my first question.
So, SumSnap, the partner, is the one who is initiating the thing. So the flow is on Dabba Foundation, who is responsible for maintaining the KYC records of the participants in the program, is initiating a request to SumSnap to do this KYC verification. At this point in time, when you will click the button, the server is basically it is a request that is originating from SumSnap. They are the ones who would be processing your information. And if you choose to store the information with them, they'll store that. At that point, they will just give us a token back whether the KYC has been passed or not. So Dabba or any of the entities of Dabba is not storing or sharing this information with anyone. It is a third-party service provider, SumSnub in this case, who is processing and storing your information and giving us just a yes or no, just like a flag, basically pass or fail. Basis on that, in our system, you're verified, or you have to repeat your KYC process if you fail in the verification process.
Okay, but then that information, how will that be used for Dabba? Like, how is it useful for Dabba then? If you're only
To
getting whether it's passed or not, if, for example, in the future, some IT official or some government official comes up to you and asks you the question, then what information you have to provide them basically.
Foundation is the one who is processing this information, so they will have to first of all reach out to Foundation, Wi-Fi Dabba India Private Limited, the India entity is has no jurisdiction in this case. That has been pretty clearly laid out. If you're talking specifically about Indian entities, they will have to go and talk to the foundation, which is a Cayman setup, and they will have to process the request. First point.
Okay.
Second point, if there is a request which goes through the process where, let's say, Indian entities are able to get the right sort of court orders that they need to get information for so and so user. In that case, we will have to raise a request with SumSnap to provide us the detailed KYC information of that specific user, and that user's information then would be passed on to the if it's FIU or whichever agency is involved. So that would be the
Okay.
process if that sort of process is involved.
Okay, but I'm assuming like the government entity is trying to do this will be kind of an edge case, right?
Absolutely. Given the legal structure that we have, if there is, let's say, a money laundering or something that comes, I'm just talking wild over here, nothing like that sort is happening. But if that happens,
Right.
they have to reach out to the Cayman uh, entity in order to get that information out. And Cayman entity has a totally different structure. It's totally unrelated. It's a DevCo setup. So there is no legal obligation for India entity or the US entity to service that request directly.
Okay, awesome. I mean, that was my second question, but you answered it. I was just about to ask you where the Dabba Foundation, has been set up. So you said it's Cayman, so that's
So
good.
Cayman is the
Uh,
foundation. Cayman is the foundation
okay.
which has a BVI setup, which was the token issuance entity. So Cayman Foundation tells BVI to mint the token, and then Foundation will distribute the tokens. There is a DevCo company in US, which is a C Corp that has a DevCo
Mhm.
relationship between Foundation. So this DevCo, which is Wi-Fi Dabba Inc., is building the product on behalf of Foundation. USC
Mhm.
Corp
I
has
feel
a
like we
subsidiary.
can break down the exact structure with with Doctor on a call, but broadly speaking, um,
Right.
we have a really good industry standard structure in place that's designed both to be compliant and to protect everyone's privacy as much as possible. But Shubes can walk you through the exact structure on a call at some point as well.
Awesome. We can do that offline too. No issues. Okay. The other one is like this. Is this Genesis liquidity program is different than the Vault, or because you are saying the price is static. Generally, like in Dex, the Dex setup and all, the price does vary depending on the supply and demand, right? So when you are giving it a static price, like what happens when all the Dabba tokens have been there and all the USDC is taken out basically? What would be what would happen in that kind of a scenario if the price is static?
So it's a spot price mechanism where so there are two ways to do a vault. One is spot price where you are saying that and you can buy into the vault at a specific price per token thing, or you have the other mechanism DLMM thing, which is basically different buckets at different price level, and people can early participants can buy at a lower level price and essentially get a better deal out of it. When it's a
Right.
spot price, you're essentially making users give the token at a fixed price, which there is no per se price discovery happening in terms of where does the price the token settles down, which is essentially the differentiation is in this case we are not looking to continue this pool from the uh, what do I say? Like from the liquidity perspective, this is essentially a IDO thing wherein your discover the initial price of the token has been defined, and people are buying into that vault and getting access to that float that is available through this pool. So that is what is happening over here. The price discovery happens at the SEX listing where there would be what is the demand, how much is the thing. Through that mechanism, the price discovery happens in the market.
Okay. Hmm. Interesting. So and the price will be revealed when?
A week before the vault is launched. So you will get the
And
opportunity to finally take that decision whether you, as a Genesis token holder, want to participate in the vault and liquidate a portion or all of your Genesis rewards and get some liquidity out. Or if you are bullish about the project and you believe that this is, I think this is very much undervalued at this point in time, there is a higher scope, you can obviously hold on to your tokens. This also gives us a clear indication of what sort of sell pressure, what sort of, how would the initial days of, token would be in order to gauge some interest in terms of what sort of pressures we need to be managing in the days of the first 3 weeks of the token launch sort of a mechanism.
right, I think, but you will know the interest only once you announce the price, right? Before you announce the price, I don't think you will get the what is the actual interest from people, I guess, because everybody definitely would be selling based on the price. Yeah.
No,
So
absolutely. Uh,
yeah, if you guys want to know, like, want to really know the kind of interest, then you have to tell us the price before, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Like this form is just are you interested in the idea? And as we get closer towards it, we will announce the price and then you can opt in for like a final decision based on the math that you do and the judgment call that you can take. We just think that this is an interesting way of being able to provide um, payback to the people that participated early before launch because they might have a million reasons for wanting that. And that's why we left
Right.
this totally optional. We think this is an interesting new mechanic.
No, I totally get it. So who is providing the other side of it basically? Is it like some other bigger investors, or is it Dabba Foundation? who is providing the USDC that you are putting on the in the vault?
So that is the vault that we are putting together on Bonk.live, where we are going to be driving traffic to participate it. These are going to be traders. There would be institutional partners, liquidity providers who are coming in to acquire the tokens. So those are the
A
people who
ton
would
of
be participating.
degens, everybody. It's going to be a big
So that
retail
would,
plus institutional
yeah.
audience.
On the other side
Oh,
would be essentially people who are traders in nature. Basically, their thing is trading.
okay. So the USDC comes in after once you know the kind of demand that that is going to come up for this vault, or is it like you guys already put in the USDC and then you see like depending on the number of tokens, you just do the pro rata
No, it's not going
based
to
on
be
the amount
that.
of USDC.
No, let's say there is X amount of X USDC worth of vault is what we announce, and that number
Okay.
would have then, let's say, X by 2 would be reserved for Genesis liquidity. Other portion is reserved for Foundation to build its treasury. Those will be the tokens that comes on the DBT side. Then this vault is essentially launched. People who would buy in early on the Bonk.live would be coming in and committing their dollars, I mean USDC as stables, and that's how the vault gets built up. If the vault gets oversubscribed, then everybody is getting a pro rata share in terms of how much they had committed. If it is 1:1, then whatever people have committed would get their liquidations at the time of the vault finalization.
Okay. So 50% of it is Genesis and the other 50% is?
It's just an example. That number is not going to be 50%. That would be announced as we come closer to the date. I was just giving an example. The
Right.
50% as an example is reserved for the hotspot owners, and the remaining 50% would be for foundation who is going to be building its treasury using this mechanics.
Okay. Okay, got it. I'm just wondering, like, will this defeat the purpose of us giving the tokens to the hotspot owners in a very on a daily basis, right? Because that in that manner the dumping may not happen. But
Oh,
when you are
wait,
giving
yeah.
this Genesis liquidity, there is a very high chance, like you are already telling everybody, okay, you can clearly dump it, right? So,
So the
but
other
of
way
course, you
around,
have a
actually.
certain price. But
It's not
yeah,
dumping. It's
Yeah.
not going to be a dump, right? So if you look at the mechanics of it, there would be a certain level of float that needs to be created into the market, right? We can't have a situation where we are low float and an FDV touches certain point, which then all of a sudden the whole mechanics of the tokenomics goes for a toss. So there has to be certain amount of float into the market for token to be liquid enough, and there is trading activity volumes that can trade, right? So there are two
So
ways
yeah,
to
let
now.
me jump in one sec just to say it before you continue, Shubs. The reason we're doing this partially is also, unlike 99% of other projects, we've been insanely disciplined with who has been given tokens. So let's say, for
right.
example, we were not doing a vault at all. And it was just on day 0 when the token launches. The only emissions available are that days of emission and the Genesis tokens that unlock on that day. That if we left it at that, the float available is 0.001%. There's like 20 tokens worth trading. So in order to make sure initially, like Shubs mentioned, we need a certain amount of liquidity and to build
Mhm.
up treasury for the project, the foundation was going to put in the tokens. But since we believe
Okay.
in also delivering a return to hotspot owners, we believe the foundation is in a strong place, we believe the token is going to do well, we thought of giving this option. So it's the exact opposite. Dabba has the opposite problem of most crypto projects where we have the ability to create more liquidity rather than, oh my God, everyone has our tokens and they're going to dump them. We actually want to encourage more ways to add tokens at an early time. So yeah, sorry, Shubs, I cut
So
you
so
off.
that vault closes on the day of TGE. What
Day
happens to the
before.
vault then? Day before the
Uh,
TGE, it closes.
Yeah, think of it
Okay.
as a
Okay.
pre-IPO settlement in terms of traditional
Correct.
Web2 stocks. You
Oh,
are settling it
yeah.
off-market thing where it's a standard thing of your pre-market opening. You're settling the and buying it once before the token gets launched on a SEX and the trading starts, right? So think of it as
Got it.
a traditional Web2 product. So if the idea was dump, the easiest way would be for foundation to dump initially, and if not team and all, at least dump from the foundation as much as you can and build the treasury. But that is not the thought over here. The way we are thinking is a long-term thing. We want to preserve and at the same time make sure the early participants have an option if they choose to, have some liquidity available. There is an option on the table.
Okay, totally. Yeah, totally got it. Okay, the last question. In Messari or something, I think Messari report I saw like kind of like 900 million tokens is what the the float will be around TGE, but I don't think that's the right number. However, I calculate like I'm not able to get my head around how it can be like 900 million, because it's only like 1.6 million Genesis tokens per day, and then 1.6 million tokens, from TGE. So that's going to be like 3.2 million or something, and then maybe some other tokens that foundation might put out. But like, how is it like 900 million? If that is wrong, then I think at least you guys should provide some updated information to Mesari, maybe
No,
at
it's
least in an
not. No, it's not fully wrong. So there are things we will be holding probably, if not the next town hall after that would be dedicated towards a detailed tokenomics things that we would be sort of publishing plus finalizing and explaining in detail how it is structured, what is what, and so that there is clarity over there. There's no confusion left. At this point, I would
okay.
say we will have sufficient float. Those numbers are not way off. Those are pretty much in line in terms of how it is going to be, because we want to be making sure there is enough float and we don't get into the trap of low float, high FDD problem.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, I'll wait for you guys to come up with those numbers, but I definitely don't think it's. I mean, yeah, you will know better for sure. Okay, thank you so
No,
much.
no,
Anyway,
sure.
I hold it up you guys for too long. Sorry.
No, that's
No,
absolutely fine. Those are very relevant questions. Yeah.
always a pleasure to
Thank
have you up.
you. Thanks, Tom.
Let me just move a bit back to the audience. Awesome.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think while
so
you do that, Shubs, one of the early questions, and I also didn't realize that, is if you're an LLC, how do you do the KYC?
So the officer on record on the LLC would be on behalf of LLC would be signing up. So probably in some stuff, we will have to enable, there is an option of are you an individual or you're doing on behalf of an organization. That option exists in these service providers. I've seen it myself earlier. So probably that would be one way to do it. You could enable that option, then people can choose, and the officer on record on behalf of LLC would be performing that task. If not, it could be directly if that could be registered as an individual, and in the name section you're mentioning that you're doing it on behalf of LLC. So that would be the way to do it. Basically, KYC is for essentially for an individual. It could be a individual business owner or it could be an entity. If it's an entity, somebody on behalf of entity has to execute, because we are still far away from the AI agents who would be doing the KYC on behalf of companies. So a human has to do for now.
nice. Okay, so we are already quite a bit over time, so we'll take a couple of questions. I know a lot of people have asked questions in chat. Rumor and Nick, are there any specific questions that you guys would like to call up?
The main question was about those LSCs, so that's covered. Otherwise, there was one question about long term, like 10 to 20 years, how you're seeing the, the price of the project doing well. And there was one question about the hourly breakup of the onboarding, if we can go back to that.
Yeah, so in terms of the hourly breakup, one thing is that we will be having a microsite for the onboarding process. All these details will be there. So during the alpha testing process, as we're refining things, we'll also be finalizing the home screen for that microsite. And I think I remember someone asking if there will be how-to videos and tutorials on how to get through the process. So as we're going through the alpha process, we'll making sure to create that kind of content, just so that we have it covered for everyone and everyone is very clear on how the process works. uh yes, so someone did ask a question on, could the team please talk about revenue making and keeping the DBT price? Oh, well, my chat just exploded and went down. Yes. And keeping the DBT price in the long run, like the next 10 to 20 years. Theoretically, if I can contact my LCOs, could I send them a mini PC, which they then connect to the hotspot via LAN and run various applications such as Grass, or better? Is the use of bandwidth/IP address planned by other deepin projects?
Yeah, so obviously I can't comment anything about the token price, but we intend to grow revenue very healthily by expanding the network, of course, offering content in the form of OTT packages, live TV, and other devices as well. With regard to the mini PC thing, I would urge
Buy
you
Dabba
to
Pro.
check out, yeah, check out the Dabba Pro. You'll find a link to it at the bottom of the dabba.com website. I think it talks a lot about the ideas that you've proposed. And yeah, we've got a roadmap for this stuff. But I think one of the things that I've realized in this call is I think we should definitely do a deeper dive tokenomics call, as Shub's mentioned, either in the next one or the next. Because I think everyone's sort of used to a project that's given out way too many tokens and has to scramble at TGE to figure out a way to handle the dump. Whereas I think we need to sort of do a really good job of explaining to everyone how disciplined we've been with tokenomics. And that's why we can offer such incredible things like this Genesis liquidity payback on day zero, and have it in a win-win situation where both the hotspot owners can get the kind of payback that they want, and the treasury of the project is built up well enough to set up for long-term success. So yeah, that's all.
Nice.
I think we've got to let some time for this idea to sink in, is what I'm feeling. And I think
Yes.
there's going to be a lot of back and forth. Also, the other thing is, I think we also need to do a mini thing on more details about vaults, like talk about other projects, what were the vaults they did, how big were those vaults, who participated, how that all played out. Because I think maybe people kind of know that launchpads have vaults and that sort of thing, but they don't really have an idea of how that stuff works. So
Oh
I think
yeah.
when we run,
On the
yeah,
TGE channel, there's going to be a lot of education going down over the next days and weeks for sure. Like I said, the moment we have announcements like this, everyone starts talking about different types of vaults, the good things, the bad things, our comparison to that. So that's going to be a great conversation, and we'll definitely pull in a lot of that content into the next town hall. Or the town hall that we do tokenomics on, we'll definitely dive into that a lot more.
yeah, and I think for me the biggest compelling reason also to do this is I think it's a great way for a hotspot owner to do a quick gut check and think through the Dabba model and be like, okay, do I really understand how this project works? Do I want to hold for the long haul? Do I want to be able to exit now? And I think before the TG, it's a great time if the community thinks through what their opinion is of the project and does the understanding of where we're at. And that's another reason we like this vault thing, because we think that it gives the community the option and the direction to talk about these things.
Yeah. Yeah, another thing to keep in mind, guys, is the reason why we're having these town halls well in advance and talking about all these details is because we want your feedback. We want you guys to come back and be like, hey, this is what you think of this process. This is what you like. This is what you don't like. Drawing comparisons to other the things that have done well, have not done well. So we want to make sure that there's time for the ideas to set in, that conversations happen, and that people can really bring up these points. Any other questions that we're missing? Sorry.
Yeah, there's a question. Somebody's wondering if you can pick locations by hotspots and the data that they've passed, and if they have the ability to pick them based on the amount of data, people are going to kind of snipe them. Also, I think in season one, people had Hit some hotspots. So elaborate a little bit on that for the question.
Yeah, so people can pick hotspots based on the amount of consumption or the LCO, either option. And yes, season one owners did pre-select hotspots a while ago. Those hotspots are locked to season one owners.
Yeah, Elandilus, don't worry. I'm
Season one is
looking at it.
1,000 hotspots out of more than 10,000 that's going to be there. So there's plenty of hotspots for people to pick, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, Elandilus, don't worry. Elandilus was talking about, yes, let's have more discussion because these are new terminologies for him. I'm sure these are new terminologies for a lot of people, not just for you. So don't feel alone in this. Like I said before, the idea is that we introduce these concepts early on. We start having these conversations. You know that we're active on the Discord as well. So yes, it's going to be a lot of learning for a lot of people over the next coming weeks as everyone starts jumping into this. I saw a question about deployments. Will we have all deployments done before TGE? I think was a question somewhere. Now the chat is kind of picking up, so I'm losing questions as the chat is
Yeah,
restored.
we will have all, if not all, like 99%, as close as we can, deployed by TGE. Yeah. In fact, the goal is to have more. Hopefully, we'll have more. I mean, one finger crossed. You don't need to.
No, the LCO teams have been like hard at it, so we're definitely going to see a lot of devices onboarded for sure. All right. Elandilus asks, who can I call? Don't worry about getting on calls yet. Let the next week sink in. There's going to be a lot of conversations on the different channels. Just be part of those discussions. There's a lot of OGs in the community that have been a part of multiple vaults. I'm very sure everyone, not just from our team, but from the community, I'm looking at Fafo and okay, I'm not getting names at the moment, but you guys know who you are. Everyone's going to jump in that conversation. So just be a part of that discussion. It'll definitely be helpful. There'll be a lot of these things that'll be cleared up over the next week with the community. In the last town hall, you said 60 to 90 days for TGE. What is it now? We're still around that
Minus
same mark.
last town hall date. Yeah.
Yeah, minus last town hall date. Awesome. If we buy more, whoa. 1 second, my chat is. I lost the question.
Hotspots
If we
are
buy
still
more,
on sale. You get the same reward structure as part of the campaign that you will be buying the hotspot under. So yeah, you can go ahead and buy if you choose to.
yeah. And there Fafo is. Just as I predicted, he jumped in and said, we'll share guides and breakdowns in the channel. The community is out there, my friend. Everyone will help and answer all the questions. So don't worry about getting on calls just yet. It's great if we have this as an open discussion. Everyone will benefit from it. All right, so I think that's all the questions. Guys, are there any other questions that I'm missing? Rumor or Atlas? We're good? Awesome. So anybody who's listening in case there are any questions that you missed, make sure that you ask those questions on the Discord. We will answer those questions. If you're confused by any concepts, please make sure you talk about it. We're more than happy to talk you through those processes. Again, the recording will go up very soon. Rumor will be posting minutes to this session, what we covered, what are the important parts. He'll also be sharing how you can get involved in the alpha process. And just keep an eye out on announcements on our socials. We'll be announcing all of these processes in more details. There'll be microsites for everything for both the launch vault as well as the onboarding process, and we'll be announcing when they come out as well. So you guys will have all those details to go through. So as always, thank you all for joining in. Keep asking those questions. keep participating in the different programs that we have. We have, programs with Super Team on Earn where you can earn prizes every week for generating content. There are different things that we're running with Galaxy, so you can get rewarded for participating in the community. We just had another open call for ambassadors. Everyone knows Atlas over here running the ambassador program and doing a phenomenal job with it. You all know the ambassadors. We just closed another open call for ambassadors. You're going to see some new faces in the coming weeks as well joining that program. It's going to be an exciting couple of weeks as we're heading towards TGE. More things happening, more town halls. Keep your eyes open for announcements. As always, stay safe, stay happy, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.